I read with tarot cards. I, of course, connect to the energy, receive through that, and read the cards and answer questions from there. I don't think I say that enough, really. It's not about flapping pieces of paper around. It's about connecting to energy. I've spent, some of the last hour, as it were, meditating, calling on the collective presence of those who are going to join me for this, and that's how the answers come and everything. So if this is your first time joining me for this, as I always say, just throw a couple of questions into the comments. I am going to start with a couple that have been sent to me ahead of time, as I like to do. But just before that, something I wanted to speak to for a couple of minutes. So there's a story, an Aesop's fable story. The sun and the wind have a competition, and the competition, they see a man walking on the ground beneath them, and the competition is to get this man to remove his coat that he's wearing. So the wind goes first and blows and blows and blows and blows, and of course the man just pulls his coat tighter, and then the sun goes next and just shines, and then the man gets warm, of course, and removes his coat because he's hot. And so I always love that story. I love Aesop's fables anyway. Why I'm sharing this is I wanted to just talk quickly about resistance, because when people start to get all spiritual, it's like resistance is bad. Break through resistance, move through it, force through it, and so on. And I'm certainly not opposed to that, but not all the time. Not every element of resistance is to be pushed through. So there's lots of different aspects and elements and archetypes of us always expressing. And some of those archetypes, or maybe one of them, whatever, you might meet as defiance, almost like folded arms, doesn't want to do something. You might meet that when you're going to meditate or something like that, and think, well, I should meditate. Meditating's good for me. I should do this. So I need to push through this. I'm actually going to say not all the time. That archetype, or it might show up in you as that, okay? That archetype, I meet that with people. I meet that when I'm going to clear a building or so on. Imagine like it's a tightly wound flower petal or rosebud or something. It has to let its own petals unfurl. Once it does that, then one can connect, then one can meditate. So where I'm going with this is, if you're going to do something spiritual, metaphysical, and a part of you does not want to, then honor that part of you. It's not going to not want to forever. It's going to not want to for about 15, 20 minutes. There's something that it wants to do, it needs to do. And once it's done that, you'll notice how much more available you become, because you can waste a lot of time by pushing against that archetype, that element that's just in defiance. Call it the inner child, call it whatever you want, but it's a part of us that wants to be listened to. Okay. All right. Yes, part of the point of why I do these on Tuesdays, because things come up and hey, it's worth talking about. All right, so I do have a couple of questions sent to me ahead of time. The first is from Anne, and I'm going to just ask you to take a breath with me. Okay, here's what I'm going to say to you, Anne, that I never like the word soon when I'm having this type of interaction, when I can't talk to you, okay, but whatever. So you've asked, I'm going to be communicating with you soon. I'm going to say yes. Now, here's the thing. He's not responding like you want him to respond to you because he's closed here. And that's not an every male thing. It's He just is. But someone gave me an analogy. Like sometimes we have to be like a cyclone that activates or stimulates another cyclone, like that. And I just want to say to you, please continue to show up as you've been showing up. I get that it's painful. I've got a slightly similar situation going on myself. So you have my sympathy with that. But please continue to show up as you're showing up. Why would I say that? Why would I want you to do that when it hurts? Okay, because that's the only way. That's the only way, which is forwards. It's the only way to help him open up. And you know what? If it's not him, it's going to be someone else that responds and is magnetized to you showing up. Okay. Emily. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I really do think you should go for it. You messaged me a while ago about feeling like progress is going slowly. This I feel brings you to life. It's more in your wheelhouse. It's more in your calling. But how sedentary you've been feeling, this is a good position for you. So bring your A game if you're going to interview for that. Looks really good. All right. So let's see. Well, there's quite a few of you. Okay. Hello, Diana. Verena. Okay. Should you look for a job? I am getting a hard no on that. Sit with it and do what you need to do. I've just talked about honoring parts of us, haven't I? And I'm in terms of me reading here, not right now. I'm seeing a theme in people I'm talking to, families and so on, needing to be together. I don't understand why. I've even looked at the astrology of this week, and I still don't understand why. But in terms of looking for a job right now, no. Do as you wish. But okay, Nikki. Are you eventually going to get along with your new coworker? I'm sorry you're having a hard time there, Nikki. Yes. Yes, I do see that. I see it taking a bit of time. There's a if I can just offer a little reframing here, Nikki, that and I'm just going on the words you've used. Okay, you said not getting on with her. If I can just present it slightly differently, as there's personalities not quite rubbing up against each other. Is more how I see it. Your way of working, not. Why do I feel it's a her? I don't know why it's a her. Your way of working, not quite their way of working, and the opposite, right? So it's said that you put a bunch of ticking clocks in a room. At some point, they will start ticking at the same pace, at the same timing. So I see it the case with the two of you as well. All right. So yes, you will. It's going to take a little while though. Over the getting into next year, I feel the two of you having a better rhythm. Spring, so on. Okay. And Jeanette. like this song. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So this took me a moment, Anjanette, because everything I'm seeing is I'm being shown you kind of looking straight ahead and moving straight ahead. I'm like, well, great, but what do I tell her? What I think it's about this. There's two elements to this. Couple of elements to this. One is you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path. Great. Whoopie do. No, I am happy. Came out wrong. You're in the right direction, on the right path. It's also, I think, I'm being shown about alignment. That I think you just say it like this. I think you're looking for distraction. I think you're looking for problems. Even possibly the question you're asking right now is looking for a distraction. And so what I'm being shown is you keep your focus on what you're doing, where you're going. That is your service. And it is also your service, your way to not be distracted by what's going on. Look, I mean, it's hard these days to not be distracted by people's opinion and try not to get into that hot topic conversation, but also as you keep that focus, your connection gets better. So a couple of things in this for you. You're doing the right thing, on the right path. Don't let yourself get distracted. And as you get distracted less, your focus grows more, your connection gets stronger. All right? Barbara, is the romantic part of the relationship with Terry over or just a low time for us? Okay. Barbara, I'm not happy to say that I feel that it's over. Yeah, I'm seeing you by yourself. Yeah, I don't really have many more words than that. I don't want to be tactless at all, but that's what I'm getting. Okay. All right. Diane. You're still awake. Oh my God. Wow, this had better be good. Is what will happen with the very worrying situation. What will happen with the very worrying situation with what's going on with my grandson? What? I am going to look at what's going on with the very worrying situation with your grandson who's 19, because that's the best I'm understanding for what you've written there. Okay. Okay, I am getting a positive outcome for this, whatever's going on. I do see someone who can be quite easily influenced, right? And yet I see the right kind of good around him. So look, it's easy for me to say this. It's not my grandson, but try, Diane, and take your worry, withdraw your worry from it. Okay, so let me just say this to all of you listening right now. Energies like worry, impatience, frustration, anxiety, agitation, neediness, we all get that. We all get it every day. But what we want to try and do is not send that to people, not send that to situation. The wisest thing I can say, Diane, given that you are worried, is exhaust that in another way. All right, I'm all about writing or exercising or something like that, getting it out of your solar plexus, right? Because think of it like this: he's going through what he's going through. You don't wish that on anyone. The worry is adding to that. It's not supporting, it's adding to that, right? And go to bed. All right, Joy. I'd like to ask you about animals that have passed on and visit me. Is it comforting? Is it for comforting, do you think? Well, thank you. Okay. Animals that have passed on. Okay. It, it is for it is for comfort, but there's a couple more things to it. Let's remember that these are conscious beings as well, perhaps conscious in a different way to us, to spirits that become human, shall we say, but sentient nonetheless. So yes, the bond between domestic animal and owner is a very strong one, because with those animals, we don't have the frustration and the yuck that we have with people, do we? We tend to have just love for them, and so we pull that, we call that, they come. It's one thing, and that will continue to happen for the rest of your life, Joy. A couple of other things I didn't actually know, and I'm just learning in this exact moment. The animals, wow, the animals help trapped or caught spirits to pass over. Like so the animals will come and they'll pick up they'll pick up a discarnate or something like that, and off they'll go, because the animals are not as attached to, how can I say this? Fine. They're not as attached to life as we are. The insects and so on. They'll come, they'll go. And so that's another of the things that's happening. Just another random thing, Joy. With our domestic animals, I do believe there is a relationship where we take care of them, we feed them, we do all of that, and they help us move energy. And what's the point of moving energy for us? Well, so that we don't have to move it through our body, or losing our temper, or stepping on a Lego brick. And so there's an element of that too. So yes, comfort, yes, moving energy, yes, helping discarnates move on, and yes, love. It's a lovely question, Joy. All right. Angie, I'm past the point of doing general readings, so feel free to put a specific question in now. Okay. All right, Percy. Working with chronic neck pain. Oh dear. More on the left at the nape and into the shoulder. Is there somebody you connect with that will support healing, open to a new awareness? Of course. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Good. Right. Well, so I'm looking at this, Patty, and I keep getting things about energy getting stuck. Why this is ringing a bell to me is using the word chronic there. And so when something's been going on for a long time, that makes my ears stick up, as it were. So there's when things get okay in that area, when things get caught, it's all getting caught. Okay, hear me out. So on one, oh, God dear, I'm having trouble talking. In one aspect, in one sense, the like an entry point for the higher self is there, or it's around there. Okay, and if there's constriction, there's constriction to that. There's constriction to being a greater version of yourself. Not that you aren't great, because you are great, but there's that. If it's constriction to that, it's constriction to your next big step. What is causing the impedance? It's indecisiveness. Too many things going on, too many possibilities, too many options, right? And that creates a kind of inertia. Oh, there's a word. Oh, they say decision paralysis. Okay. Not the pain, but the tendency I feel you got from your father or your father's side. And so if you were going to meditate, if you were going to work on processing it, I would look to him. I would look to him on that side of the family. But in addition to that, I would work on expansion too. I would work on expansion. It's like you're not letting yourself see something, you're not letting yourself become something. And we can talk about that, all right? That's what I'm getting. I'm not getting anything physical about this. It's that entry point there. It's constricted, and let me. There's a. I'm stuck for the metaphor. I don't have the metaphor. But if you're going to meditate, we talk about expansion. We've talked about being bigger. We've talked about the farther side. Why don't you meditate on literally seeing that blockage being broken through? Just like building a tunnel underneath a lake or a river or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Let me go on. But the thing is, Patty, I do see something. I do see something bigger, grander, more expanded in your future, and that's a sticking point there. Okay. Renee, do I have any insights when you'll be relocating next, and if it will be in the same state you're in? You're currently in Melbourne. Okay. Okay, so just kind of quickly here, Renee. I'm seeing a move next year, and I'm seeing you staying in. Is it a state? Is Melbourne a state? It's sort of a city. Hmm. Forgive my appalling geography. I should know. I should know better, but I don't. But I do see you in the same state, and it's always interesting to me when that word is used because there's double meanings there, isn't it? You know, geographical state, but also state of being. And just to throw in there as well, some time just has to pass here. It's bugging me a lot about life in general right now. That time just has to pass, and there's nothing we can do about it because time just has to pass. But I don't see a move out of state, and I don't see a move this year. Next year, and in the same state. Hi, Laurie. Okay, Becky. My friend Steve has moved into assisted living. I don't think he's been able to make friends, and I wonder about his level of care. Do you see him staying in this place and getting what he needs? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Becky. Okay, I do not see him getting what he needs there, Becky. I don't. I don't see it. From what I'm getting here, I do think his family are going to move him. I think that's all I can say right now. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That it's tough for you. I really am, Becky. Yeah. My father's in permanent care now, and it's very it's frustrating on a lot of different levels. Rhonda. Okay. All right. Just get a couple of cards for you both then. Right. You know, there's a similarity in what I'm getting for you both here, Rhonda, and I think that's why you're asking for her, for your daughter. With you both, I'm seeing things coming in, and I quite like the pace it's coming at. You're instinctively or instinctually, I feel both of you have a good relationship with the flow at this time, but you're not behaving like that. You're kind of, you, Rhonda, are kind of just jumping. I'm being too blunt, forgive me. I feel like you're trying to move too quickly, and that creates confusion because you're moving ahead of flow, right? It's simple when you say it. And so what I'm getting here is you actually are to step back. Step back from there's a couple of situations I'm seeing here. Just step back from it. Don't leave it. Just step back from it. That helps you get clarity on it. Now, with your daughter, so she's put all these intentions out, and it's coming. It's coming. But again, with her, it's like she'll jump at it. She'll jump at it. And just to be analogous here, if you planted seeds in the ground for whatever, you start to see shoots. You don't spray it with water. You don't mess with the soil. You let it do its thing because it's not fully grown yet. And I don't know that I'm one to preach on letting things be without interfering, but it still stands to reason we have to be like that with flow. So for you both, I would suggest stepping back a little. I said a little, not away, but back a little, and that helps you both get clarity. You, perspective, and her, letting things happen. Okay. Laurie. Okay, so what I'm getting for you, Laurie, is for you if we just call them supplements, we call it nourishment. What your body needs, your body receives it best in liquid form, and there's a whole billion ways we can go with this right now. We can talk about bone soup. We can be talking about sea minerals. And on and on and on. But your body ingests it better that way. That's one thing I ought to say. Number two, the greater problem I'm seeing here is you don't think you can resolve this. You don't think you can mend it. And I'm really going to ask you to take a look at that, because it isn't true. It isn't true, but you think it is true. And when perspective gets cemented like that, it can make things true that aren't true. So would you sit with those two things for what it's worth, Laurie? What you can be ingesting through liquid form. God, there's Floridix as well. All these things, liquid form, and looking to distangle this thought form of I can't make it change. Not necessarily those words, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. I should say hello to Anna there. I know you haven't asked a question, but Anna, I'm going to be channeling at the nursery on the 8th, which is just over a week's time. I'm really happy to be coming back so soon. Okay. Ricardo. I'd like to know about this heat I'm feeling with excessive sweating. It is an imbalance of energy or chemical, something else. Okay. Okay. I feel like a broken record with you, Ricardo, because I'm taking a look at this and it looks amazing. It looks amazing. What is it? What do I mean by amazing? I mean, there's more energy, more, let's say positive, high frequency energy entering your system than you're used to. And so, well, look around the room. If I take one, there we go. If I take one of these light bulbs that's maybe supposed to have 10 watts, and I put 30 watts in it, what do you think is going to happen? It'll overheat. So it's for you to think about ways for your body to be handling more energy. So I'm going to go to the obvious things here. Hydration. I mean, look, you can see when I do these readings, basically people watching me drink for an hour, isn't it? I get warm when I do this. So hydration, gentle exercise. Think about circulation, so that it doesn't get caught. I mean, I was just talking to Patty about this very thing. If I knew more about Chinese medicine, I'd be talking about foods that have a cooling effect, like watermelon and so on. But what I'm seeing, actually, it's not. You're asking, is it imbalance of energy, or is it or a chemical or something else? Imbalance of energy will become chemical, because the first place it will go to is the central nervous system and the adrenal system, because they're the closest to it, the nearest to it, even nearer than the cardiovascular system. So try and support your body to hold and move more energy. We haven't talked about grounding, we haven't talked about showers, but there are many ways, but start doing something with that, okay? It's not going to go away. Okay, Lisa. Okay. Well, the first thing I asked Lisa is whether you get a different job in the same trade that you're in, and I'm getting a no on that. So when I look at good types of work for you to do, children keep showing up. I don't think you're supposed to be doing. I don't necessarily think it's teaching. I don't necessarily think it's directly with children. I get the feeling of advocating on behalf of children, right? So there's governmental work, there's local governmental work that you can do there. There's non-profit. What you can work for non-profits in advocacy of children. So don't think necessarily about working directly with children unless you want to, and there's a good opportunity there. I feel there's something in advocacy of children for you to do or to be doing. Just 1 second, everyone. Okay. All right. Okay. Crystal. To do something to make more. Should I? Okay. Lines converted to do something. I actually get a no on that. Not for the rest of your life, no. But I'm seeing that your question's coming kind of out of not out of physical, material, financial need, not like that, but need in a more mental way. There are plenty of opportunities coming, but it doesn't feel like now. If yes, you could do things now, you could do other things now, but it looks like it keeps it ties you. It looks like it ties your hands in a way, and ties your hands and tires you out, like you'd be needing more rest. And I really quite like how it looks for you. Just keep doing what you're doing as you're doing it for the time being. Yeah. So no, you don't. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Go. No. There we go. All right. I got. See, not I boys bowling team going to state competition. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. All right. Christy, I have just seen your question. I'm sure you all a question that's just come up, and I well, look, Christy, if you put this question in, you understand I'm gonna public domain, right? I'm not going to answer this question. I'm not going to do that. There are some questions that show up that I get a ping to not to answer. Sometimes people ask when a child's going to be born, what the sex is, and so on. Or when no, it's more like when someone or an animal, someone going to pass on, and I sort of get a stop signal. It's not going to support for me to answer this question. Okay, so I'm sure there's time if you want to throw something else in there, but I'm not going to answer this question, Christine. Okay, here we go. Lisa, will you get your beach house? I'm getting a yes on that, Lisa. Okay. Well, then, boom. Just doing it again. Why is it doing this? Come on. There. How can you strengthen your spirituality? I'm just pausing for a moment because already what I'm getting is it's all there. It's all already there. I can speak to it already. I just want to look at something else, Melanie. Right. So yeah, I'll put this all together because I am seeing that, you know, just as you're asking a question here, Melanie, there's a similar invitation, as it were, coming from above or all around. Okay, because that's what that God is all around. Spirit, love is all around. The invitation is coming from both sides, getting message that you are to be the bridge between those two. And so if you're asking a question, you're not feeling like the bridge, you're not feeling like there's a response from the other side. So that's why I wanted to go a little further and see what you can do to support that. I'm going to give you it's not funny. I'm going to give you a little exercise to do. Very simple. Imagine in one hand you have the sun, imagine in the other hand you have the moon, and just put them together. Not as quickly as I've done that, but with your eyes closed and breathing and so on, and put them together. And maybe keep your hands like that for a while. There are pathways that are already there. You just need to make them a little stronger and a little more worn, okay? Just like if you were to do an exercise, learn an instrument, the neurotransmitters need to neuronal pathways, need to be used a few times to do certain actions and movements. I'd like you to, as important as all of that, see it as a joyful thing to do, not an onerous thing. Okay, right back when I started in almost an hour ago, I was talking about the part of us that doesn't want to. That just doesn't want to. And it's important to listen to that. So if you're like, well, I want to grow spiritually, but a part of me just doesn't want to, listen to the part of you that doesn't want to. And let that be, let that express, let that vent, because that will pass and give you an easier pathway, a more open pathway to spiritually connect. Okay? Okay. Diana, how come you feel that you never belong? Yeah. That's such a good question. So, Diana, I'm going to say probably the most annoying thing I could possibly. No, I could think of more annoying things to say, but it might be annoying for me to say this. Things are just going to take a while. They look in embryonic form. I remember being younger. I'll be 43 in a couple of weeks. I remember being younger and just feeling like I was the wrong age. I was supposed to be older. I was supposed to be in my mid-30s and beyond and so on. And I need to say to you, I see everything there for you. It's just in its early forms. And it's not that you don't belong, and that's an absolute. But I would say I kind of get that you don't feel like you belong right now, like you may be a little more mature than other people. I'm not saying there isn't more maturity to grow in you, but I could see why you feel like you don't belong. There's more to say than that. Also to remember, this is a frustrating part as well, that you did sign up for your life, this life, and this experience. And let me say this to all of you, because I'm sure it's not just Diana that's feeling like she doesn't belong. For those of us that stand out, we stand out and we're observed and we're looked at. And we might not want it, but we're looked at to be an example of something that people can measure themselves against. And if I just give you my own version of that, I'm walking around in this country with a British accent. I forget I have one, but I do have one. Makes me stand out. I'm often the only male in the room for some reason. even when I was working in commercial real estate in England, I go to networking groups. And I'd be like the youngest person by like 20 years in there. I don't know why, but it's a life I've chosen to stand out and maybe not belong as well. And there is a lot of fruit in that. There's a lot of growth in that. There's a lot of testing in that as well. So let me just say, your will is being made stronger, Diana. Your discipline is being honed. You will, I promise you this, guarantee this, that in the course of your life, and certainly next 5-ish years, you're going to feel more and more and more belonging. But it's just going to take a while. And I'm sorry, but how you're feeling now is not an indictment of the rest of your life. You've been having dreams the past couple of days. Are your answers to questions coming through? Been having dreams the past couple of days. Are your answers to questions coming through? Yes. Now I wanted to check on this, Selena, because I wondered if the answers were coming in dream time, and I actually don't think they are. I think dream time's sleep, dream time, whatever we want to call it, that state of consciousness. I think that's being used for clearing, actually, which means the answers will come actually in waking time. So a reminder to you to do things that are, I don't just mean mundane. It's mechanical things, driving, dishes, laundry, that stuff that mechanically occupies you to a degree, and that, but not too much, and that helps the pathways to open and answers to come. So dreams. The dreams seem to be more about clearing so that answers can come like now, as it were, rather than answers coming in sleep time. So that was a very long-winded way of saying yes. Jeanette. Let's know if Demetrius wants to reconcile with you. And Jeanette, I'm getting a no on that. Okay. Well, I'm not going to project here. I was assuming that's disappointing. If it is, then I'm sorry, but that is what I'm getting. Okay. I think it's Catherine. I always want to call you Katie, but I think it's Catherine. Do you think you will ever find your true passion in life? Notice, by the way, I'm not just going and saying yes or no. I want to have a look. It's even before I do this, I look at things in reverse, or I like to look at things in reverse, because if there's even a thought, will I, that thought form's got to be unwoven some, and there's something in the way of it. So let's find out what's in the way of it. So, yes, you will. What's in the way for you here? One is you're holding you keep yourself in. Now, I was just talking about those of us that get seen and noticed and stand out. I often pull my energy in when I'm out and about because I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be looked at. But I also know when to bring it out again. And I would say for you that you're quite used to pulling it in. And remember, when you pull it in, you kind of pull everything in. So remember, let's work on expanding and sending out as well. Second thing I want to say, passion is oh, damn it, what's the word? I'm just completely goofy on the word there. Passion looks at 360 degrees, looks at everything, analyzes and assesses everything. And so parallel to you bringing your energy in a little too much or keeping yourself to yourself, your thoughts, your ideas, your wants and desires and curiosities to yourself, you're not really looking as well as you can at the blessings of life, the people, the situations, what you are, who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at. If I'm doing this right now and people are happy about it, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of things I'm not good at that I'm not doing, that I haven't been able to do, and so I've been gravitated to this, okay? And there's been some accepting of that. There's certain careers and trades and so on would love to have done, but it's not for me, not in this life. And it's drawn me to, to music, to spirituality, to this, to caring for people. Okay, so look at Catherine. Look at ways to expand your energy and start looking at your perspectives on the outer, and I don't want to just say the inner, but yourself. Okay, and I am out of time for tonight. I'll do something for my kids now. So everyone take a breath with me, please. Oh, God. A reminder, we're in Mercury retrograde now. We'll be for another 2.5-ish weeks. Good time to work on the self. Good time to process, the last few months, all of that. Take a breath with me, and we're going to just hold for a few seconds an energy of prayer for ourselves, for each of you, for your families, and for everything that's important to you that you want, to bring grace to that which is coming to you, to bring patience to that which is slow to come to you. We say a prayer, of course, for the areas of the world that are in conflict and turbulence. We say a prayer for humanity and for the collective consciousness that is so tied and wound up in disagreement and separation. We say a prayer of grace for it all and for us all. Lovely. Lovely. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.